Welcome to This Explainer. You know, we are bombarded literally every single day by flashy headlines about instant millionaires and massive VC investments. And honestly, all that noise makes it incredibly easy to forget the absolute basics of how wealth is actually generated. So today, we're cutting through all of that to explore a totally different concept, one that completely shifts how we view everyday capital.
So what if just $100 could completely change your financial future? I know, it sounds totally impossible, right? Especially since we're basically conditioned to associate building wealth with, giant trust funds or winning the lottery. But the true secret of wealth building really isn't about how much you start with. It's actually about when you start and how consistently you keep going.
Seriously, if you ask the average person why they haven't started investing yet, their answer is almost universally that they just don't have the cash. There's this massive psychological barrier where people firmly believe they need a huge war chest, say $10,000, just to justify opening an account.
And actually, scratch that. Sometimes the mental hurdle is even higher. Some folks are completely convinced they need 100 grand before they can make their first real move. This is a huge myth, and it keeps perfectly capable people totally frozen, just waiting around for some magical windfall that is probably never going to come. But let's completely drop that barrier to entry right now to reveal the reality: $100. The data consistently shows that the single most crucial step in personal finance isn't the dollar amount at all, but making the decisive choice to just begin. That $100, that's what shifts your identity from being just a consumer to an investor.
Section 2. The power of consistency and building the habit.
So let's dive into the actual mechanics of this. Imagine two totally different approaches. One person waits years to scrape together thousands of dollars before taking any action. Another person just starts immediately with $100 and then adds to it consistently over time. As you'll see, that second person is developing a behavioral habit that is profoundly more valuable than the initial cash. Success isn't about one massive, dramatic decision. It's about small actions relentlessly repeated.
Section 3. Making your money work and valuing the future.
This right here is a fundamental paradigm shift. Look, most of the world works incredibly hard for their money, but financially successful individuals, they make a very deliberate shift. Instead of blowing every extra dollar that comes their way, smart investors pause. They ask a really simple question: can this money help create more value in the future? Now, obviously, all investments involve some risk, but adopting this mindset, literally treating your money like an employee you hire to go do a job, makes a life-altering difference down the road.
Section 4. Avoiding common money traps, specifically the income trap.
Oh, lifestyle inflation. We have all been here. You get a 3% raise at work, and suddenly you feel this overwhelming urge to finance a nicer car or upgrade your daily drip coffee to an artisanal pour-over. Your lifestyle just absorbs every single new dollar, which keeps you completely broke despite having a bigger paycheck. Successful investors do the exact opposite. They allocate their increases to savings and investments first, locking in those long-term wins before upgrading their lifestyle.
Section 5. The power of compound growth and the seed metaphor. This is exactly where time and consistency shake hands. Compound growth happens when your money earns returns, and then those returns go on to earn even more returns. Now, the reality of compounding is that it isn't flashy at all. It's really not exciting in the beginning. But over long time horizons, it is arguably the absolute most powerful mathematical force in personal finance.
To put that into perspective, think of that initial $100 kind of like planting a tiny seed. On day one, it doesn't look like much of anything. But if you water it and protect it and just stay consistent, it eventually grows into a massive tree with a huge deep root system. The trick isn't trying to get rich overnight. It's simply giving your capital enough undisturbed time to do its thing.
Section 6. The biggest mistakes and why people fail.
Financial failure rarely happens just because someone has a low income. It usually happens through a daily drip of poor choices. We're talking about buying stuff you absolutely don't need, leaning way too carelessly on credit cards, chasing get-rich-quick trends without doing any research, or just throwing in the towel after a few months because progress feels too slow. True wealth demands patience, discipline, and consistent learning, definitely not dangerous shortcuts.
Section 7. Think like an investor. A mindset shift.
So to actually execute this shift, try using this simple mantra before your next purchase. Will this improve my life for a few days? Or could it help build my future? And hey, sometimes the answer is to just spend the money and enjoy it. That is totally fine. but forcing yourself to make an active, conscious choice between a fleeting pleasure and your future security, that is exactly what separates the wealthy from the rest of the pack.
Section 8. Taking your first step. Actionable advice.
Now, you definitely don't need to be some Wall Street insider or perfectly wealthy to begin this today. The playbook is actually super straightforward. First, create a simple budget so you actually know where your money's going. Next, build an emergency fund to protect your growing investments. Keep learning about finance and always think long-term. Applying these steps literally turns small, consistent actions today into massive opportunities tomorrow.
Ultimately, the whole $100 rule is way less about the actual cash and much more about proving to yourself that you have the discipline to begin. It all starts with one smart decision, which is followed by another, building your wealth one deliberate choice at a time.
Which brings us to the final and really the most important question for you. Are you ready to start? The barrier to entry is way lower than you think. And look, time is going to pass anyway, right? So you might as well let compound growth do the heavy lifting for you. Thank you so much for exploring this explainer with me today. Go grab that first $100, make a smart decision, and we'll see you next time.